Hey everyone. I'm going to introduce you to a new software that I kind of stumbled across, a web-based software that will help teachers take their existing assignments and turn them into a fillable PDF. But it's a little bit more than that. It's something that kids can manipulate and send back in quite easily. The reason I like this particular software is a lot of teachers, if you have a student in your class who needs some extra accommodations, needs more things done on the computer because maybe there's some motor skill issues, maybe that they need things to be larger sizes. And so rather than always be printing things larger or trying to recreate assignments that are fillable as opposed to something they do with pen and paper, a lot of people just sort of shy away from those assignments, or the student doesn't really get the same experience or the same assessment or activity as their classmates. So I found this and I've been super impressed with it so far. So I'm just going to show you how to use it. So this is called Easel, and it's by Teachers Pay Teachers. And you don't have to buy anything with Teachers Pay Teachers. You don't have to use other people's work. You can, but you don't have to. And when you have your own PDFs that you've used, this is something that will take them and make them a lot more user friendly for your kids. So you go to easel.teacherspayteachers.com, and I've already logged in over here. And I've used this just a little bit. It hasn't been very much. You can see I've only been playing with it this month, but I've been very impressed with it so far. So what I've done is I've set up my account. So you do that through Teachers Pay Teachers, but like I said, you can use all your own content. Whatever assignment you're going to be working with, make sure that you're using a PDF. So if you don't have a PDF of a specific assignment, one of the options you can use is most cell phones now actually have a scan directly to Google Drive feature if you have the Google Drive app on your phone. I use that very frequently. The other thing that you can get now is if you have Google Lens, which you can put on an iPhone or an Android, you can use the Google Lens mode to take a picture of text, and you can copy and paste it right to the computer. So it will turn your a picture, it'll take all the text from a picture or a PDF and put it into a document, and you can manipulate it that way. In this case, I'm going to show you just an assignment that I scanned in from a reproducible worksheet book that I was able to use with my students, but they're all virtual. So I wanted to be able to change it so that they could fill in the information. So I'm just going to hit create here, and I'm going to upload a file, and it's going to take a second. And I just a few minutes ago downloaded a document. There we go, called the giant carrot. So I have scanned this in. It's not a great scan, to be honest. If you look at it, it's kind of curved, and it's something that I could definitely tweak before I was going to give it to my students. So I'm going to import the file, and it takes a second to import it. You can do all the pages at once. You can do individual pages. You can, there's lots of different things you can do here, but I tried to import something quite large recently, and it did say that this was going to take a significant amount of time just because of the amount of pages that it had. When it's only a few pages, it's not too bad. Okay, so I have here the giant carrot. I'm going to basically leave this as is. If I wanted to have highlights in here, I wanted to show something that was really important, maybe we're talking about proper nouns. And so I'm going to go through, I'm going to highlight all the proper nouns. So that's something that you can do. I really like that there is, it's really easy to make changes to this. So I can go through and just delete it because maybe I don't want that. Double click on the eraser and it takes everything out. It also has an undo button right here, which is really handy. And you've got your page rotate option as well. So there's nothing I really need to do with this page. So I'm going to just move on to the next page. Now, here is where this tool starts to come in really handy. So I've got questions that the students need to answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give them an answer box. And it's a simple, oh, I'm still in delete, I believe. Nope, there we go. So I have an answer box here. I can make it as big or as small as I want. Once I've put one in, it's really nice that it kind of copies and pastes the exact same size again for you. And then you can just adjust them and put them wherever you'd like them to be. And wherever you put your cursor, that's where it's going to start to put that text box. So I've got my text box here and here. Now, this says draw a picture of a carrot growing in a garden. This is not something that would be super easy for a student to do online. They could, I could have them use the pen option and try and like draw some sort of, I can't do this, draw some sort of a carrot above and below the ground. So you could have them do that, but if you want, you can change this. This is the other thing I've done with this particular assignment, not this assignment, but this type of assignment. So maybe I want to change this to describe. And so what I've actually done is I've taken a shape and I have copied it here. The red circle is from the Screencastify and not from anything I'm doing on the Teachers Pay Teachers Easel site. Okay, so I've got a box around there and I want to make, it's just a rectangle. Now I want to fill it. I'm going to put a white fill over top of it and I'm going to put a white border over top of it. I'm just going to get rid of that because now it looks like there's nothing there. So now I'm going to take my text box, not an answer box because this is something I'm going to type in, not the students. And I'm going to type, let's see, sometimes it's a little finicky. Okay, so I'm going to type in the box below, please describe what a carrot looks like above and below the surface. So I can move this around. I can make it a little bit smaller because that's a bit big for my purposes right now. I'm going to change it into a black color just to match the rest of it. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Just slide it over a little bit more here. And that's it. Now I want to put an answer box right in here for my students so they can type. Let's try that again. And one more here. So if I was doing this for my students for real, I would probably be a little bit more precise with it. I would rescan these pages so they lay a little flatter. So yeah, it would just look a little bit prettier. Here is another really cool feature. So this is my next page and it says cut the sentences out and glue them in order. But obviously you're online, you're not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to change this into a shape. So I'm going to put this shape around here and I'm going to replace the text in it with whatever was underneath it. And I'm actually just going to start down here just so I can copy and paste, or I can look at what it is I'm supposed to be typing. So grandfather pulled very hard. The carrot did not come out. So maybe I'll make that font a little bit bigger. Change it to black. You can do all sorts of colors. Some students who have dyslexia, they read better with overlays that are different colors or sometimes just with a different font color. So if you have any students who are dealing with dyslexia, that can be something to look at, and it's pretty individual by student. Okay, I've got my little box here. I'm just going to do the one for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a border around it so that you can see it. All right, where's my border? Nope, sorry, let's go here. I'm going to make it movable. So if I'm going to click on it and I click movable, now this is green. It's all locked together. And you can see in a bit when I show you the assign and review or the preview part, how students can drag and drop things. So now I'm just going to change this to say drag the boxes below and place them in the correct order. And I would just block out this glue part. So that's that page. Again, here you've got answer the riddles below to name the vegetables in the garden. So you can add text boxes or you can have the drag and drop option as well. Circle in the puzzle, you can have, again, text options. You can tell them to use the highlight feature in order to highlight their different words. And circle, this one is a cool, really quick. If you have anything that needs to be circled, I usually go for the biggest word-ish and kind of position it this way so that it's over top. I'm going to take the fill away so that, oh, there we go. So there's no fill and we can actually see, hopefully, what is underneath there. And, oh, my computer's starting to slow down on me, of course. So we have this is movable, and what I would do is just have the circle. Let me try this one more time. There's my circle. I don't want it to be filled, but I want it to have a border. There we go. So here's my circle. Let's delete those. I'm gonna drag it over here, and yeah, it could be a little bit bigger. So let's make it a little bit bigger. And then what I would do, circle the words that have short vowels. So I would just probably count how many have short vowels and then add a couple. And I would change this to drag the circles. So I'm going to copy it, which just Control C and paste. And then I actually just layer them right over top of one another. So when the students come in here to drag and drop them, it looks like there's one, but there's a whole stack of them sitting here. And it doesn't take up a lot of room on the page. I find if the shapes are all beside each other, it can be overwhelming and students won't really look at it. So that's as far as I'm going to go, I think, today. So again, yeah, you fill in individual lines, text boxes, whatever you'd like. Once you've got that done, you're going to go to preview. This is what the students are going to see. They see this. Now, this is the 6th page. I didn't make any changes. So this is the biggest thing I find with our kids is I have to tell them, don't forget to look at the bottom to navigate from page to page because it's not as intuitive that way. So I have the giant carrot. There's my story. There is page 2. Where did grandfather like to work? Haven't read the story. I'm going to assume the farm. And you can write in complete sentences. Right here, you can take that out if you want. So with my kids, they know they need to use the answer or the question in the answers. So grandfather liked to work on the farm. They can go through and answer all these questions. They can type in here. Let's go to next. So here I have, now I don't think, oh, there it is. I can drag and drop this. So I can move this around to wherever I would like it to be. And if you've set it up properly, then when you move this text box, everything else will be white down here, so they won't actually see the answers that they've just moved around from the original document. All right, I'm going to go down here, and they can highlight. So I'm going to go broccoli, and then I can check it off. And the next one, so here are my circles. So I'm just going to drag them. Whoops, nope, I need to go select. And it is pretty intuitive. I don't know if you saw, I was still on highlight and I was trying to do something. When I came up here and tried to drag, it immediately switched over to select, and then I just can go back over here. So I can move these to wherever I would like. And that's it for this assignment. So you can see you have the opportunity to prepare it. I can name it. What was this called? The giant carrot. And click done. And now assign and review. So where this is fantastic is if you have Google Classroom, you can upload it right to Google Classroom. However, if you don't and you click Assign, it gives you a link. And all you do is copy the link, and the students can access it that way. So I'll show you real quick how it looks on the student end. So I'm going to go over here, and I will go to Teachers Pay Teachers Easel with that particular link. And hopefully this will work. Yep. So I'm going to sign in with Google. And the students can, in our board, their DSBN account is connected to Google, so they can use that to log in. And here's my code. It auto-populates. I'm going to click Enter. And here's my assignment. So this is the student view. So they can scroll down and see this. Whoops. When they're done all their work, what they can do is they hit Turn In. When they turn it in, I'm going to say it gets a little prompt to say, are you done yet? Are you not done yet? And if I decide to go ahead and turn that in, let's see, I'm just going to put this down. There we go. I was missing the page. So I'm going to go to the next page. Type, type, type. And check. Carrot. Just going to put a few random words in here so you can see it. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to pull that up here. Go to the next page. Oh, let's do a highlight on here just to show you that, how the students can do it as well. So they can highlight broccoli, or maybe they want to use the pen and they want to circle. And what's nice is if they make a mistake and they're like, oh, that's really ugly, I don't want to use that, it takes it away and they can start again. And now I'm going to drag a couple circles around. And that's it. So I'm going to hit Turn In. Yes, turn it in. So it's going to tell me that it's turned in. I get the confetti, which is super cute. And now I'm going to go back here, hopefully. Yep. And go back to its instant. So it shows me that I've already turned it in at 4:04 on Sunday. I'm going to click review. And what I love is now I have the opportunity to put in comments. So, hi, J Rob. My students call me J Rob. It looks like you missed filling or completing this page. Let me know if I can help. I'm going to do something very generic right now. I know, not the best feedback. But I'm going to do it in a different color so they can actually see that. All right, and so I can go through and do that with all the pages. I can do little check marks if I want. Well, it's not a very good check mark at all, is it? So I can do that. I can change the color, the thickness, all that kind of thing. And then when I'm done and I'm happy with the way that my feedback looks for that particular student, I can return it to the student. So they're going to be able to see the feedback and make changes and resubmit. So I'm going to return it to the student and flip back here. See what happens. If I enter back into this particular assignment, now there's my feedback from my teacher. So I can make more changes if I would like. And let's go down here. Go back. Oh, let's see. I forgot a word. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to turn it in again. And turn it in again. I get my little confetti again. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to review this or refresh this real quick. And you'll see this final sort of student part. You can see the time has changed. I can review it, and I can see that now the student has made some changes. And let's go. My comments are still there. If I'm like, oh, they fixed this now, I can remove it. I can say great and return to the student again a final time. So it keeps going back and forth until you're happy with it. So it's a great feature because it really only takes 5 or 6 minutes to convert something like this into a fillable document Obviously, it would take longer with a more involved document, but it's such a great way to show teachers how they can manipulate their work that they've already created for our students who need some additional support. And it's something that if you have a learning resource teacher or somebody who has the time, if the teacher provides the assignments ahead of time, it's something that they may be able to do. It's also something that is simple enough that a peer tutor could do. So if you have a student leader in your class, a peer tutor, and you show them how to do this is something they could whip up really easily. And it's a great way to teach them about how to accommodate all sorts of students. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know either in the comments or you can fire an email to Jackie, Jaci, dot Robinson at